Present over here. Good morning, everyone. Present over here. First of all, I thank to giving this golden opportunity to express our talent. These are our group members. I am Tanushan. This is Minsa Amal. These are the public transport ticketing system report. This system, the individual passengers have digital token, and the token will be present to a digital reader. The digital reader in order to access the system. Next, this is our class diagram. This user superclass is several attributes and methods, especially user ID, name, gender, date of birth, address, city, email, phone, username, and the password. The methods are login, update user info, change password, and view vehicle schedule. There are two subclasses, include generalization, staff and passenger. The passenger have 5 methods: view info, buy ticket, cancel ticket, top up account, and view journey history. The top up method is parameters are account number and string data type. Amount is currency. This also written is void. There's no written types. And staff are divided into 3 subclasses: a public transport manager and driver and ticket inspector. There's a public transport manager methods are add vehicle schedule, edit vehicle schedule, and analyze journey info, generate finance report, analyze passenger usage, analyze passenger fraudulence info, issue card. The ticket inspector attribute is assign location, it's a string data type, and the methods is check passenger and report passenger fraudulence, view passenger fraudulence history, absent fine history is fines history. Then next is driver. A driver this attribute driver license number, that string data type. Then ticket inspector detect the passenger fraudulence. There are several attributes are there. The PFID, the passenger fraudulence ID, the inspector ID, passenger ID, and date, time, route ID, fine, payment status. There's 3 methods are there. Add new record, that's white data type. View records is passenger ID, and view history is white data type. Then the payment, the account, the main class is account. This passenger has account, that one-to-one relationship. There's composite, account composite to passenger class. That's mean without passenger there is no account class. The account class is several attributes are there: account number, balance, date created, time created, loan status. The 4 methods are there: update balance, check balance, get loan status, get account info. That's a white data type. The account handles the payment. Payments have 6 attributes are there: payment ID, account number, date paid, time paid, payment mode, account is currently data type. There's 2 methods are there: add new payment and display payment info. This payment superclass have 3 subclasses. That is credit card and debit card and cash. There's a debit card methods are authenticate and credit card methods authenticate. The same as cash is attribute is currency, string data type. Finally is passengers journey class is one to many relationship. This is a journey. The passenger journey class is one to many relationship. These are the journey attributes and methods. The several attributes are there, and methods is journey and view history, print ticket, And check last journey status, update last journey destination, get start location, update last journey fare and status. This journey uses to fare model. The fare model is divided into three subclasses: the distance based fare, zonal fare, time based fare. This all three fare types are methods are calculate fare. These fare calculations are calculated by the distance. This distance means data type is currency. The distance based fare is set price per kilometer. Price data type is wide. After that, token. Token is scans. Digital reader scans by a token. Token is many-to-many relationship. Token methods are view token info. That's wide method. The digital reader scan card string data type. Digital reader connect to the reader GUI, the interface. Invalid card message and insufficient balance message, passenger permitted message is also methods. And digital reader connects to data manager. That's one-to-one relationship. That data manager have some one method. Data set data. Parameters are card ID string. Date is data, right? Time and time. Location is double. Totally void. Token is two subclasses: smart card and QR code. And finally, vehicle. A journey buys vehicle. Vehicle have three methods: add vehicle, edit vehicle, search vehicle. That vehicle class has three subclasses. That's train, tram, and bus. The vehicle has one to many relationship. That is schedule. For the schedule has several attributes and four methods are there: create schedule, display schedule, update schedule, and delete schedule. Also boolean and avoid data types. That vehicle assigned to the route. Route relationship one to many. Then these are the view route info is the method. Route is consists to public transport hub. There is a between association class, the transport up distance. It's a descriptive class from public hub and to both. This association class is called calculate distance. This method and parameters are the route ID, hub ID, then second hub ID. There's two hub ID and calculate the helping for the calculate distance. Public transport hub is divided into four subclasses. That's a bus station, tram station, train station, and the information center. The public hub has space station, one to one relationship. The space station have space station ID, the tube ID. Finally, train station consists the transfer tile that have several attributes: gate ID and train station. Methods are open gate and close gate. Both are void data type. Now we are going to CRC card. These are the CRC card. First initial method is a digital reader. That responsibilities is scan the digital token and smart card, that QR. Start a new session when a digital token is presented by user. That helper class is token and passenger. That's a collaborations. And second one is reader GUI. The responsibilities is give audio and visual feedback that the token has been read successfully and other error messages. As helper class is data manager, and there are several CRC cards are there, and the user is the main class, and login into the system, update user information, change password, view vehicle schedule. There's a vehicle schedule is helper class is schedule, and finally passenger class and public transport managers and ticket inspectors. There's a user of the subclasses. This token is view token information is also CRC card. Account is the main class. Update balance, get account details, check whether the balance is sufficient for the journey. This CRC, there's no collaboration about this class. And payment is responsibility is add a new payment, view payment information. That helper class is account. There are several fare data types: distance based fare and zonal fare and time based fare. All CRC cards are here. Transport up distance. Route distance from the starting position of a route to any transport hub in that route. That collaboration to this one route public transport hub, and calculate distance between two transport hubs in a route. That helper class is route public transport hub. And last final one is transtile, the gate. Transfer, open a gate, close a gate. There's no collaboration of this. Extra bit of eye-level architecture diagram. When the passenger is present to the RFID reader, then automatically the details going to the server after all details are added to the database and retrieved from the database. This is to the smart card, and this one to the using mobile data, or kind of data flow is going to the server, and data flow based on the all details are served in database and retrieved from the database. And finally this one to the admin using a website. So all things are, and other part will be explained Mr.
Thank you, Dhanush. Now I'm gonna explain the sequence diagrams. First, I'm going to explain the sequence diagram for the ticketing process. First, the passenger scans the card through the digital reader, and the card ID, the current date, current time, and the location data will be sent to the data manager control class. From there, using the card ID, the card will be verified. If the card is invalid, the invalid card message is sent to the reader's GUI, and the passenger is not permitted to go on a journey. And if the smart card is valid, it's a valid card, then the passenger ID is taken from the smart card data, and passenger ID is returned. Then using that passenger ID, the data manager control class checks whether the status of the last journey through this method in the journey class. If the last journey means the current journey of the passenger. If the journey is inactive, which means a journey is not started yet, the data manager in the data manager control class checks whether the balance is sufficient for the journey by accessing the account class, account of the passenger. Uh, we uh, we assume that to permit passenger for a journey, he should has a minimum balance in the account. If that balance is there, if the balance is not sufficient, the insufficient balance message will be sent to the reader GUI. If the balance is equal to the minimum value or balance is greater than the minimum value, then the using the location is the latitude and longitude of that location. Using that, the hub ID is taken of that location from the hub transport hub class. Hub ID is returned, then a new journey is created for that passenger, and the passenger permitted message is sent to the reader's GUI, and the passenger is permitted for the journey. Then when the passenger leaves the bus or leaves the train station, passenger again scans the card, and then again, if the last journey of the passenger, which means the current journey, is active, which means he has started the journey, so it has to be ended the journey. So if the last journey is active, then again the hub ID is taken by using the location, passenger's location. Hub ID is returned, transport hub ID, and the passenger's last journey is updated. The destination information are updated. Information such as the destination hub, destination arrived time, date, and other details. And then we have taken the distance-based fare model in this to demonstrate this. So the distance should be calculated from start point to end point. So the start location hub ID is taken from the journey class, and
We have 15 minutes more.
then distance is calculated using the hub distance class, and that distance is sent to the fare class. There's a calculate fare method. Using that, fare is calculated. That fare amount is returned to the data manager control class, and it is saved in the and the last journey is updated, the fare and the status of the journey, whether it's active or inactive. In this case, it should be inactive. Then the balance is account balance is updated, and the status is returned, and the success message is returned to the GUI, and the journey is ended. Then I'm going to explain the second sequence diagram. It's the topping up the account, passenger's account. In this, passenger scans the card. Then all the data is sent to the data manager control class. Then the card is verified. If the card is unverified, the card invalid message is sent to the GUI. If the card is verified, passenger details are taken from the passenger class, and that passenger's account information are like balance, account number are taken, returned, and they are displayed in the GUI. Then the passenger calls the method top up account in the GUI. Then again the passenger sets the amount to reload. Then that amount is set in the credit card reader. Then the passenger swipe the credit card, and the payment process is done by the payment system. And if the payment is unsuccessful message is shown in the GUI. If the payment is successful, the payment object is created, new payment, and the account balance is updated, and the passenger's account, and the status is written, and the success message will be displayed in the GUI. And the third sequence diagram is issuing a smart card. It's done in the pay station by a staff member. Staff member first logins, and the login details are sent and verified. And if the login failed, the failure message is displayed in the GUI. Otherwise, if the login is valid, then success message, login is success. Then staff calls the issue card method in the GUI, and then staff adds new passenger details and the account details. Then the passenger is created, passenger object, and using that passenger ID, account is created for that passenger, and a smart card is created, and then the passenger created message is shown in the GUI, and the card is issued. Thank you. Now I'm inviting my friend to explain the system.
Good morning. I'm here to explain about present about the personas we interacted with in designing the system. It will be started with a persona by the name of Alfred Pennyworth, a 72-year-old retired military veteran. The problems faced by Alfred in using the previous system is that he has to stay in a queue for a long time before obtaining his ticket. Together with that, he's unable to get the balance, the correct amount as balance because of using notes and currencies. And also, because he's old and his vision is not that very good, he's unable to use the digital systems that are like small digital systems like smartphone and all.
Small.
The other persona is called James Gordon, and he's the public transport manager. The frustrations faced by Gordon is that he is unable to keep track of records to analyze the data, and there's a delay in collecting of transportation data. Also, there's a lot of waste of public resources because he's unable to plan and schedule the transportation. So he has to work overtime to solve these transportation related problems. And yeah, other persona will be of Zin Mandarin, and he's a Chinese immigrant residing in UK. And the main problem faced by Mandarin is that he's unable to understand or use English as his language, as he's new to this is the first time he's in UK. So he finds it difficult to communicate with those ticket officers in order to obtain his ticket. Also, he has problems in using English smartphone applications and all. The scenarios based on the personas which I mentioned earlier. The first scenario is of Alfred Pennyworth. This scenario describes a day where he travels to visit his grandchildren. Here he's facing the character faces a lot of problems. The first problem is that he has to stay in a queue in order to obtain his tickets. This results in the delay of his journey. Sometimes he has to miss his train also. The second scenario is related to James Gordon, the public transport manager. The problem that Gordon faces is when he's analyzing data, because of file management system, he's unable to keeping track of the data properly, so he's unable to get the proper decisions. Therefore, there is many problems related to scheduling and all, creating. The other one is related to Mandarin. Mandarin has the problem in using English applications, like because the main language he has to face is like Chinese language, so he's unable to communicate with those ticket officials in getting when buying his ticket and all. Next, I'm going to present the high fidelity diagram associated with booking the ticket. This is the home login screen. The user will be able to select his language initially if he is of different country or something. Then he has to give his username and password and login. If the login is invalid, invalid username or password message will be displayed. Then this is the home screen. The home screen has my account, tickets and credit. In my account, the user will be able to view his account information, while in tickets he can go through that and purchase tickets. Credit is where he can view his credit information and also be able to top up and all. This is the tickets interface. Here there are two types presenting the available tickets and the used tickets. Using the available tickets, unused tickets, from there he can buy a new ticket by clicking on this plus icon. This is the screen where he'll be able to select his journey, provide his journey details in order to buy the ticket. The first one is from where it will describe the destination. The second one is from where he will be starting the journey. The second one will be to which describes destination. The third one is date, where he'll be able to select the date for his journey, and the fourth one is the mode, where he has selected train already. And the fifth one is tickets, where he'll be able to the number of tickets to be purchased will be mentioned. The final one will mention the total amount for his journey. When he goes to the next step, he'll be asked to provide his credit card information. This already he has provided the information, so he can select that. If he hasn't provided an information, he can use the add credit card message, add credit card option to add a credit card. Like now he has successfully entered all his details. This will be the summary of his journey details, and once he presses confirm, there will be a confirmation message, and after that if he presses and yes, a successful message will be displayed. From that the ticket will be updated, where you can see here the updated ticket is here. The next one will be the high fidelity diagram of the pay station, where the pay station is situated in the transportation hub. Here also the language can be selected, and the user can log into the system either by swiping the smart card or by producing the login credentials. From there they'll be showed a screen where he can quickly top up easily, or else he can use the other functions like my account, which displays his account information, history, where his journey history is mentioned, then print the reserved tickets or buy tickets. Also he'll be able to log out from the system. The available credit of the journey will be provided here. Available credit for his account will be provided here. Once he selects a quick top up option, he'll be directed to the next screen, where the amount he has selected will be displayed. The amount will be displayed. From there the screen will be providing information such as, like, it will show him where he has to insert the coins, if he is to insert the coin, or where he has to insert the bank card. In this occasion he is using the bank card, so he'll be able to insert the bank card in the machine and enter the PIN number and confirm it. Once he confirms it, when he presses the yes button, he will be directed to the next screen, or else when he presses the no button, the transaction will be discarded. Once he has pressed the confirmation one, a successful message will be displayed. From there you can see that the credit, from this screen you can see that the credit information has been updated. The next one is a web page where the user or the admin can interact with. Here also the admin and the user can interact by providing this username or password, to interact. And here the home screen. The home screen consists of tabs. The site consists of tabs where he can navigate from one place to another. And the home screen consists of summaries where the summaries of cost, passenger, routes and vehicle for easy access. Once the manager has selected schedule, he'll be presented a screen where he can view the bus schedule, the tram schedule and the train schedule. In this occasion, he has selected the bus schedule, and from there, in the schedule menu, he'll be able to search for the schedule by presenting the vehicle ID, or else or schedule, and here he'll be able to select the date to view the schedule for that date. This table provides the information of all the schedules for that particular date. Once he selects an information, in the map, the location of that particular bus will be shown. This is the storyboard. This is a storyboard for a journey. This consists of some certain scenarios. Here, first of all, the person goes to the railway station, goes to the gate, and there in the gate there's a LCD panel which describes which instructs the passenger what to do. There are two types of interactive methods. One, he can use the smart card. The other one, he'll be able to scan his QR code produced by the phone or a printed ticket. In this occasion, he swipes the smart card, which then confirms his journey. Once he gets into the train and reaches his destination, gets down and again comes to the gate. Again, as mentioned earlier, the LCD instructs him how to use it. Then once he swipes the smart card, the amount of his journey will be deducted, and he has completed the journey. The next one will be of the next one is the storyboard for the transport manager. The scenario is adding an inspector, assigning an inspector to a train station. Here the inspector has to log in by providing his credentials. Once he logins, from there he can select the inspector's option, and from there again he can select assign inspector. Then from the provided menu he can select the ID of the inspector and the station he has to assign it and the date. Once he is assigned, a successful message is shown. The final storyboard will be where the user buys a ticket. It's also the same as usual. He logs into the account, selects tickets, then enters all his ticket journey, and then once it's over, a successful message is shown here. That's all.
Okay. Let's first move on to the class diagram, right? Can you move the class diagram? First go to the account class. What's the relationship between the account and the passenger?
One passenger has one account.
Go up. Passenger has account. So this is you added composition. The side is wrong, right? Passenger has account, right?
Yeah.
So what's the side that whatever that colored
So it means
rectangle?
an account must have a passenger.
Yeah, account must have passenger. So whatever the colored diamond should be, no.
That's a
This side-
composite.
Yeah, composition is fine, but what's the relation that colored diamond should be?
It's like both are dependent. So the passenger has depends
Yeah.
on the account, and the account
It
depends
can,
on the
it can
passenger.
go to both sides.
Yeah, no, most probably it's fine. Now you have to have that passenger composition should be whatever the colored diamond should be there. Passenger has account. Other, right? And okay, rather than thinking about that, okay, for that particular, it's fine. So navigate to that add vehicle schedule. Now all your methods, there are issues, right? All your methods, add vehicle, you didn't pass any vehicle object. How we are going to add vehicle specific details for this one? That means add all these things, right? All classes, wherever the places, So if you are going to perform add or something, right? So there you have to have a vehicle object. As a model, you have to pass it.
For the schedule.
Not only the schedule, all other places. In, for example, journey class. Go down. In your journey class, there is a method journey. So you should not pass all primitive data, origin, date, time, passenger ID. You have to have a separate. Now in this one, journey is a model class, right? There should be another service class or controller class that should
That's
cater for the journey class.
constructor, sir.
Which one?
First one.
Okay.
That constructs
Constructor.
Then you should better to add whatever the view history, print ticket, those things should be there in a controller, not in the model level. Now journey is a model class, okay, all your setters, getters and whatever the model object should be there. In your controller, you have to pass the model object of the journey to that one. Understood?
Yes.
Otherwise now, go down, public transport hub, wait, get transport hub by location, okay, that's fine. Go up. Here, add vehicle, go down. Edit vehicle, how you are going to edit vehicle without passing vehicle ID? Because at this stage you have to decide what are the variables, how you are going to perform it, what sort of activities you have to perform, right? Now in this stage, only returning now. Add vehicle, it's fine, you can add the boolean, whether it didn't add, you can verify that one. Yeah.
We mentioned the parameters only for the main classes. Very important classes only, sir. This is vehicle classes like adding vehicle details on your system. That's why
Setters and getters mostly, so we
And display schedule. Display schedule, why did you mention that as a void type? If you are going to display schedule, schedule object should be written as a written output, right? Why did you decide it as void?
just displaying the
Are you going to use whatever the display specific thing inside only that method, or without returning whatever the parameters from there?
for that method, not returning, just displaying the schedules.
Okay. What's that update balance method? Where is that update balance? Yeah. You are going to pass only the amount. Is that enough to get update balance?
So in
pop-ups, we select only the amount and
Then how you are going to identify which account and what's the account ID and stuff? Account number.
because like it's a one-to-one relationship.
So,
Once you select the passenger, then
No, it's fine. Okay, now if I want to update, right, the account balance and specific thing, also then in the account, so I can send the amount. But how I am going to know which account
so
is
passenger is already identified, so the
in
ID
that
is
passenger
already
there is
taken.
no, it's fine. Is in that passenger I going to pass whatever the ID or something, is there any method for this one? Go to upper class. Passenger class.
and you
Okay, top up account
in
is
the
fine.
in the byte
Okay, top up account is fine. Use
It
add
includes
the
it?
account number, amount. That is fine. How is that going? Person is going to update.
comes to the
it calls the this method
account method.
in the account.
Okay, for updating purpose, he is going to call that same method, top up account or something.
Once he uses this method, it calls the update method in the account.
Inside this one.
Inside that
Yeah.
method.
And
there are-
is it there in the sequence pattern?
Yes.
Top up set.
Top up.
Top up
Yeah,
sequence is there, ne? Okay, okay. Go down, it's fine. No, go down. Where is that zonal fare? Zonal fares?
Fare types.
Fare types, yeah. Yeah. Here, So, are you going to pass only 2 zones here, or set of several zones are you going to pass?
The
Start
fair
zone
method
and-
is the fares for one from one zone to another zone. The fare is already in the database.
And it's okay now. Are you going to pass only two
Starting
primitives
zone and the finishing
Destination.
zone.
One zone.
to one journey? US. That's how you assume, right?
Yes, sir.
Then don't use zone 1, zone 2. You have to use start destination or something, source destination or something like that. Otherwise, it's better to use array at least for that one rather than sending separate zones. So, go down. Vehicle has schedule. Where's the phrase that vehicle has schedule? Vehicle has schedule. Okay, again, what's the relationship? You didn't add aggregation or something like that, right? Vehicle has, you can add
One vehicle
aggregation.
has one or many zones.
Yeah.
Right.
We have mentioned
You just
one-
mentioned association,
Routes,
right?
like,
one, the
Yeah,
minimum
it's
that
better
is
to use
mentioned as
what, the aggregation or something to that, but it has a type of relationship. So, ID, essential ID. Now in this approach, what's the flow that request is moving? Now you have controllers. Why didn't you mention controllers, interfaces at the
It's
design
just
stage?
we added
the interfaces.
digital reader class is there, and the reader GUI. And
Is
the-
that interface?
This is the controller.
Okay.
All the data is controlled.
No, not interface classes are mentioned.
Yeah, so in your class diagram, at the design stage,
Reader GUI is the interface. This one.
Reader is
no, not GU, not graphical user interfaces.
This is the
Inter-
boundary class.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
This is the
Interfaces
boundary
in the
class.
sense now for your service there should be interface like specify these are the methods that you are going to implement in future.
Interface.
Yeah, interfaces. So later on if you are going to add whatever the design pattern or something, you can pass as the reference type should be there in the interface, and you can pass any object which is going to implement that particular interface. So here at the design stage you have to add interfaces for this class diagram, right? And you have to have increments, arrows and stuff, right, for those things. And you have to have a proper flow. Now you have a model view controller. From controller how you are going to pass the request for the service layer, right? Now these are the service specific. Controller would not perform that inside the controller itself. There should be a layer wise separation in order to decouple.
Yeah, in the sequence diagram we have mentioned all the
Okay, let's
controllers.
move to sequence diagram.
Ticketing process.
So go up, yeah. So okay. Digital reader, data manager. What is the data manager class?
That is a controller class.
That gets and decides where to the data, send the data.
From the digital reader takes the data like the location, the current date, time, and all are passed to that. And card ID.
It's better if you pass card ID or something, return, you have to get return type passenger IDs and things. Now in this approach also you have to think about what are the services. It's okay for the controller you add all these things, but then controller will get overloaded with adding all services and stuff. It would not now for this one. If you have separate service delegate or something, right, you can decouple controller into separate layer.
We took all the controller classes as one. We put the as one.
No.
To
Don't put all controller classes, then all controller classes specific implementation. What will happen for the method size, right? All these things will comes to this one method, right? So you have to separate it into separate. Now controller data manager is fine. You have to have a separate facade layer. Facade will hide the complexity and invoke only. You can implement whatever the template method in there. Now, for example, for this one, verify card, verification card will be sent, and then get passenger ID. All these things, there is some kind of sequence, right? Have you heard about template method pattern or something? So you can use template one method. Within that method, it perform all these activities, something like that. You have to add those things when you are going to modify sequence diagrams and stuff.
Here we didn't consider the design patterns and just
Yeah, you have to consider at the implementation, not this level, but you have to think how that request is moving for the backend. Then you have to decide how about the complexity, coupling, cohesion, and those things, right? When that complexity goes up, right, you have to decouple it into separate layers and stuff, right? You have to use service delegators. You delegate the service. Then you have to have separate service specific implementer classes in order to get that service and cater for whatever the expected controller or something like that. So, okay, sequence classes. So, what sort of interaction design specific things did you think about? This is fine. Okay, whatever the person asks, yeah. So, show me that what the design person asks. Did you address the issues mentioned there? We mentioned frustrations and stuff, right?
the address.
Yeah. So.
Address.
Okay, here they mention schedule transportation has problems.
Schedule.
Yeah, so how you are going to provide the solution in order to
The problem is because the data is there, but because the improper organization of the data, the transportman is unable to get the correct information to schedule the transport. Once it is digitalized, he can go like for last week what happened, last month what happened, in April, every year what's happening. He can get those information like this and analyze it and do a proper schedule better than earlier on.
So in this case study they mentioned mobile device are handled by some new innovative interaction in order to do that physical ticketing and stuff. So did you identify what is your
QR processing is one.
QR code? Yes.
QR.
In your UI, where did you perform that?
The UI usage is not mentioned.
No.
We are mentioned only about smart card usage.
So what sort of interaction design did you, concepts did you use in your high fidelity diagrams for designing these things?
Designing tool?
Yeah. No, designing user interfaces, what sort of things did you consider?
So we wanted to have a web one so that these old people having this visibility eye problem and also they can use the web one with bigger buttons and or something like that.
If let's say visually impaired person is going to access video, think about the tab focus regarding this UI widgets and stuff.
Mobile users are using the tab navigations.
Now the present day smartphones are actually it's having this talkback features. So whenever they see it,
It's fine. Most probably you are storing your sense.
and we have considered the language feature and also so that everybody can access the language. And also then we have mentioned about the coin interface also, physical money and all also can be used.
Okay. In here also they mention plan timetables and those things also you consider, right?
Yes.